can put up, extent of the extent of which you can put up these buildings. So these laws are provided for in various states, and the first one that we'll be talking about is Land Use Act. This is applicable to the whole country, to Nigeria as a whole, because this is the act that vests all land into the hands of the governor to hold in trust of the people of a state. So that is the first one. Then we'll also be looking into, before I go further, I want us to understand that today's session is going to be a brief and short one, because we're just going to shed a little light on these regulations, and in subsequent sessions we would go in details on these regulations, what these regulations state, how these regulations are effected, and the relevant procedures you need to go through, and also the agencies that are put in place to hold these regulations. So today we're just going to give a brief discussion, or a brief touch into these regulations. So like I said, I already mentioned the Land Use Act. Then now we'll be going into the Lagos State Urban and Regional Planning and Development Law. This is the primary law that governs land use and planning in Lagos State. This law provides for the legal foundation for urban and regional planning in Lagos State. It includes outlines the procedures for obtaining development permits and building constructions, as well as the standards for the use of land, and it sets out responsibilities for various authorities that are put in place that are involved in planning and development plans in Lagos State. Aside the Lagos State Urban and Regional Planning and Development Law, there is also this Lagos State Physical Planning and Development regulations, and these regulations provide detailed guidelines for planning, land subdivision and development of infrastructures basically in Lagos, and they are aimed to ensure that development activities align with the border goals of the sustainable of the states and the environmental protection, because there have been situations where some buildings which are erected are against public and health policy, public and health safety, that these buildings end up collapsing, or these buildings become an endanger to human and the public in general. So these regulations also guide and protect and make sure that lands and that buildings are erected are going through a procedure to ensure that they are safe for the public. So we also have the Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority, which is probably known as LASPPA. This enforces compliance with land use and planning regulations. For example, it states that for you to have a building that is above 2 floors, you must ensure your risk, and for public and commercial buildings, when building them, you should make provisions for easy access, safety and toilet facilities for physically challenged people, and so on like this. So this Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority basically guides and gives planning permits to persons who intend to building infrastructures or buildings in the state. Then there is also the Lagos State Building Control Agency. This also enforces compliance with land and building regulations, and these agencies are also responsible for ensuring development plan permits, like the Planning Permit Authority, and conducting building inspections to ensure that these buildings are in line with the government guidelines, and they are not an endanger to the public, and also ensuring that the activities are the ones that are the activities going on in a building are activities that have been approved by the government and these other agencies. So basically, these are the agencies, these are the regulations that we'll be going into in the subsequent sessions. So I hope we all stay tuned and we're able to learn from this session and the subsequent sessions that we'll be having. And I hope you all have a lovely day. Thank you, everyone. Bye.